Workforce Solutions North Texas presents Resources for Texas Parents of Children and Youth with Disabilities. We'll go over the Student HireAbility Navigator, the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, and Vocational Rehabilitation.
Hello, I am Brenda Rowland, the Student HireAbility Navigator for Workforce Solutions North Texas. My role as the Student HireAbility Navigator is to improve access to employment and training services and increase employment opportunities for students with disabilities. So the goal here is to help students overcome challenges and gain the skills they need to continue with their education or employment journey. The Student HireAbility Navigator serves as a resource in the workforce development area to support, expand, and enhance the provision of pre-employment transition services, also known as PREATs, that are provided by Vocational Rehabilitation as well as by the other partners and programs in their service area. And it is nice to know that each local workforce development area has their own Student HireAbility Navigator. So there are 28 boards, and some boards have 2, just depending on the population and area that they serve. Okay, pre-employment transition services or PREATs. Transition services are for students ages 14 to 22 as required by WIOA. The 5 PREATs are career exploration. This would be included things like work with students to explore vocational interests, the labor market, in-demand industries and occupations, career paths of interest. Number 2 is the work-based learning. This could be arranging for and providing career mentorship, career-related competitions, informational interviews, job shadowing, practicum, volunteering, workplace tours or field trips. Number 3, counseling on post-secondary opportunities. This would be assisting students with enrolling or remaining enrolled in post-secondary education or training by helping them to understand how to successfully transition to post-secondary education or training programs, to complete steps for enrolling in a post-secondary education or training programs, and to learn about and apply for post-secondary financial aid options. Number 4 is workplace readiness. This includes arranging for and providing opportunities for students to learn communication and interpersonal skills, employment expectations for punctuality and performance, as well as other soft skills necessary for employment. Also, job seeking skills will fall up under this. The last one we have would be self-advocacy. This is arranging for and providing opportunities for learning about disability and its impact, learning about how to request accommodation, services, supports, and assistive technology, participating in youth leadership activities offered in educational or community settings as well. All right, customers and participants. So for this program, which I work with, students who are 14 to 22 years old as of September 1st of the previous year. Students who are eligible for and receiving special education or related services under the Federal Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or students with a disability for purposes of 504 of the Rehabilitation Act. Students who are in an approved education program. Okay, our location and service areas. As far as myself, I am located at 1501 Midwestern Parkway, Suite 101 in Wichita Falls, Texas 76302. We also have offices located in Bowie, Graham, and Vernon. Service areas include the following counties. You have Archer, Baylor, Clay, Cottle, Ford, Hardeman, Jack, Montague, Wichita, Wilbarger, and Young. Okay, I want to discuss capacity building and system development. One of my goals is to promote awareness of pre-employment transition services, promote the use of career exploration, post-secondary education planning, and work readiness tools available through the Texas Workforce Commission Market and Career Information Department. And some of that information includes like just Understanding the job market. It'll have stuff, Texas job market information. It had information about the Bureau of Labor Statistics. It does the employability checkup, work importance locator, and it gives career information there to expand and enhance the delivery of the 5 required pre-employment transition services, and to disseminate information and resources to partners, and which that entails, which I am signed up to a lot of emails and resources. So I get information weekly from the Center of Disability Development newsletter, the Governor's Committee on People with Disabilities, the Conference of State Legislators, and which is the Job Accommodation Network, the Employer Assistance and Resource Network on Disabilities. Also get the Texas Parent to Parent newsletter, which I read through on a weekly basis, and information that I feel is pertinent or would be beneficial to those partners that I work with. I do share that information with them. Okay, partnering and collaboration. These are critical in our service. It kind of helps us build on the partnership with Vocational Rehabilitation and with the local workforce in the office. And that's done by attending transition quarterly meetings. I present pre-ETs to education service centers, parent orientations, fairs, community engagement, and virtual conferences. I know we recently had our first virtual transition fair and our youth career expo, and it's helped to connect vocational rehabilitation counselors with schools and other community organizations, facilitate meetings between school district, vocational rehabilitation services providers, and other community organizations, organize and plan transition networks so that all of us are on the same page, on the same accord when it comes to helping students with disabilities either continue with their education or move on to employment. Okay, another part of my job duties is informing and engaging employers. This is where I outreach to employers to coordinate paid work experience programs. We currently have 2. There is the year-round paid work experience, and it's the SEAL, the Summer Earn and Learn. These are basically 2 programs that provide eligible students with disabilities age 14 to 22 an opportunity to test their skills in the real world with paid internship opportunities at local employers. So we connect students with disabilities to successful work experience, would help them gain job skills and help build their confidence. So when they do go out into the real world, they will be better equipped to hold down and manage a job. Okay, if you are a student, parent, educator, employer, or community resource in the North Texas region who has questions, needs help, or wants to be part of the solution to ensure a bright future for students with disabilities, please contact me with the information provided on the screen.
My name is Danae Torres. I'm the Youth Career Specialist at Workforce Solutions, and I work for the WIOA program, which is Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. And what we do is we help job seekers find employment and get youth ready for the workforce. And so some of the programs that we have, we assist with vocational training, we have work experience programs, and we also have on-the-job training. So our vocational training program is we have a target occupations list, and it has a list of like over 50 occupations that are high in demand in our area right now. So we assist with vocational training, meaning like the training is usually 2 years or less, but they're very high in demand careers for this area. So we can assist with your full tuition, we can assist with books, we can help with supportive services. We want to just make sure that you have everything you need to go through your program completely and not have any type of barriers that may cause you to have to drop out of your program, anything like that. We want you to be successful. We want you to go through the full program and get your certificate or your degree and be successful in the workforce. So for the youth program, we have work experience and on-the-job training. It's not just for youth, but that's usually the age group that comes through and does those programs. So our work experience program, technically you're employed through Workforce Solutions. We pay your salary 100%, but you are placed at a job site where you get a certain work experience that you're looking for. So say that once you go to college, you want to be, I don't know, you want to work with animals or something like that. We can place you at some type of job to where you're working with animals. You'll be able to see, how that career is, and you'll get that experience. That way it'll look great on your resume. You'll already have the experience, and you may or may not want to even do that after you get that experience. So it's really good for you to get that opportunity, because it may be something that you figure out you don't want to do later on. You didn't waste your time or your money on school yet. You just have that experience. So we also have on-the-job training, which is kind of similar to work experience. We pay half of the salary, and then the employer pays the other half. We place you at a job site, and it's usually about 10 to 12 weeks, and you get like the hands-on experience you need to be successful in that career. And chances are they're going to hire you on after that 10 to 12 weeks. So you pretty much have a job lined up after that 10 to 12 weeks. So those are the 3 programs that we offer under the WIOA program. You do have to be eligible for our program, but don't let that scare you. There's a lot of different factors that play into that. We have 3 different categories. We have youth, dislocated worker, and adults. So youth is anyone between the ages of 16 and 24 who have some type of barrier to employment, whether that be a disability, pregnant or parenting, foster youth, and that's just a short list. So our dislocated worker category is someone who has been laid off from their previous job and they don't plan to go back and is receiving unemployment benefits. We also have our adult category, which you must be receiving public assistance and or be within the federal low income guidelines to be eligible for that category. So the whole purpose of the WIOA program is just to get you the skills and everything you need to be successful in the workforce. Our staff does a lot of work to ensure that everyone is successful in the program. We have great case managers to work with. It's just a great program overall. And I want to do this to help get the word out and help people understand that, we have a lot that we can do for individuals who want to put in the work, who want to put in the effort to, make themselves better and to have a nice career down the path. So I am the youth career specialist. I oversee the youth in the WIOA program. And one of the main things that I do is I assist the youth who may have disabilities in getting work experience or on-the-job training. And that is, a big thing that we do. We want to be able to provide these resources to these students who may not have those resources available to them. So working with us, you can get work experience or training that you may or may not be able to get on your own. And we help you through that. We get you the experience that you need so you can be successful in the workforce. And these services are provided all year long. So if you need these services right now, come to us. If you need them later, come to us. There's no time limit. There's no, we do it between this time and this time. We do it always, and we're always willing to help. We work with vocational rehab back and forth. They refer students to us. We refer students to them. We are also working with them in the SEAL program, which is a summer earn and learn program. And that is where we partner individuals with disabilities at different work sites. They get work readiness training and paid work experience. They are able to get placed at a work site and work the summer months at that work site and get a good amount of work experience. And we are also looking at co-enrolling those participants in our WIOA program as well. So that's how we kind of are partnered with vocational rehab. You can contact me directly. My name is Danae Torres. We will put my phone number and my email in here so you can give me a call or shoot me an email anytime you have any questions. If you don't want to work with me directly, I can forward you to the correct person who you would like to work with.
Hello, my name is Jamie Long, and I'm a transition vocational rehabilitation counselor with Texas Workforce Solutions Vocational Rehabilitation Services. And today I'd like to talk to you about transition services. The purpose of vocational rehabilitation services is to help people with disabilities obtain and maintain employment that is consistent with their strengths, interests, abilities, and aptitudes. VR services are eligibility-based and tailored to the individual. They are not intended to be emergency services, but they are not time-limited or intended to be long-term. They are arranged and provided by vocational rehabilitation counselors with consideration for individual choice. Eligibility criteria. The customer has a physical or mental impairment. The impairment constitutes or results in substantial impediment to employment. The customer requires VR services to prepare for, enter, engage in, or advance in competitive integrated employment consistent with the customer's strengths, resources, priorities, concerns, abilities, capabilities, interests, and informed choice. The customer can achieve an employment outcome unless pre-eligibility trial work experiences demonstrate by clear and convincing evidence that the customer cannot achieve an employment outcome because of the severity of the customer's disability. Transition services are a subset of vocational rehabilitation services for those individuals that are 14 to 22 years old. Transition services are provided to help students move from high school to successful work and independent living. Through partnerships with the schools, VR provides these services to students while they're attending high school, so they'll be prepared when they exit. After a person leaves high school, vocational rehabilitation services continue to be available to them if necessary. In most cases, the services provided to transition students fall into one of these 5 pre-employment transition services, or pre-ETS, categories. 1, career exploration. 2, work-based learning. 3, counseling on post-secondary opportunities. 4, job readiness. And 5, self-advocacy. Vocational rehabilitation counselors. Transition vocational rehabilitation counselors, or TVRCs, are assigned to various schools and spend most of their time on school campuses. Vocational rehabilitation counselors, or VRCs, are counselors with general caseloads and high school liaison assignments. The majority of schools have a counselor assigned. If you're not sure who the assigned counselor is at your school, contact the regional transition specialist for your area. WIOA, Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. WIOA emphasizes transition and youth services. Many students with disabilities are leaving secondary school without competitive integrated employment or without being enrolled in post-secondary education, and there's a need to support such students as they transition from school to post-secondary life. WIOA Title IV. Title IV of the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act changes the way transition services are provided through vocational rehabilitation. VR programs are required to spend 15% of their federal funding allocation on pre-ETS, which is pre-employment transition services, to eligible and potentially eligible students with disabilities. Pre-ETS services are intended to provide exposure to the concepts and experiences related to building skills for work and independent living, and are therefore more effective when started early. WIOA also contains a requirement that VR counselors attend ARD meetings when invited. WIOA introduced a new eligibility status, which is potentially eligible. As a means to give access to pre-ETS activities, some individuals will be able to participate as potentially eligible. For this to occur, they must meet the definition of a student with a disability, and this is not intended to circumvent the vocational rehabilitation process. When it is realized that other services are needed, an application for services must be completed. Services for potentially eligible populations are limited to pre-ETS services. How to get started. Work with your assigned VR counselor to refer students for services. Parents, you can also contact a vocational counselor to discuss services for your child. If you aren't sure who the counselor is, call your nearest Texas Workforce Solutions Vocational Rehabilitation Office or your area's regional transition specialist. I will also include my contact information at the end of this presentation. The counselor will schedule appointments at the school, in the Workforce Solutions office, at other locations, or remotely to complete the application for services. The counselor will discuss the VR process with students and parents, which includes determining eligibility, and if eligible, assessing and planning for services. Again, my name is Jamie Long, and I'm a Transition Vocational Rehabilitation Counselor for Wichita County. Here you'll find my contact information. If you have any additional questions or are interested in vocational rehabilitation services, you're welcome to reach out to me on my business cell phone number, which is 940-613-8902. I look forward to hearing from you and working together in the future. On the next slides, you'll find more information about regional transition specialist contact information and federal funding.